Alright, so you're thinking about buying Elden Ring because you see others having a good time with it, or you've already bought it and played it and realized that you're having a hard time actually doing anything in the game because most of your playtime is on this screen here. I'm going to lay down a few tips that I've learned myself from playing all the FromSoftware games throughout the years. A little bit about me: when it comes to these games, I'm not naturally good at them, I just learn quickly. I'm going to talk about things that you can pick up on in Elden Ring to increase your survivability and start making progress in the game. Before I get started, if you have any tips you'd like to share to beginners or other players in general, leave it in a comment below. The best tip I see will become the pinned comment on this video. Now breathe, don't smash your controller, leave a like on this video, take a deep breath, and follow me through these beginner tips. The very first tip I have for you here is probably the same thing you'll hear everywhere when it comes to FromSoft games. You will die a lot, so learn to expect it and accept it. Patience will be key to accepting this idea. Elden Ring and all the FromSoft Soulsborne games are not easy. They're intended to make you learn from your mistakes and will repeatedly punish you until you get it right. Don't let that discourage you so easily though, for when it's an intended mechanic, it's not that you're a bad player, it's that you made a mistake and need to learn from it to overcome the current challenge. If you get frustrated from dying too many times in a specific area, there's three choices to make here. 1. You can go elsewhere in the game and take some time to level up so you have more health, attack damage, or whatever you feel you may be missing. 2. You can walk away from the game and reset your mental. Or 3. You can just quit and not put in any effort into making yourself achieve something you wish you could do. Don't choose 3 as a bad choice, including in the real world. Alright, the second tip I have for you is to take time to learn the controls of this game and make sure you have them down. One of the biggest frustration points new players have in Elden Ring and other FromSoft games is just not understanding the controls at their fingertips. Take a moment to press every button and understand what it does, and make sure you hold down these buttons as well because they can have different effects and they have unique things going on with every single item in the game. This goes for new weapons you find that you're considering using, as well as new spells. Just to take a second to equip it, test it, and understand it. There's actually a bit of a tutorial area at the beginning of the game that you can run through on repeat. Do it as many times as you feel you need to get a solid understanding of everything going on. Do not underestimate the confidence you can give yourself by simply understanding the controls in Elden Ring. Tip number 3 for our beginner's guide for Elden Ring is start simple. I know it looks so fun to run around the lands between slashing like a madman and parrying everything you encounter, but you will see so much more progress if you learn to roll out of the way of attacks instead. This game rewards you so much more for reacting to your enemies instead of acting first. You will land much more consistent damage if you dodge an attack versus attempting parries and just spending all your time healing and then dying because you're out of healing items. Elden Ring is unforgiving, and if you want to give yourself the best chance at progression, I would say to keep your tactics simple. You can learn to become flashy after you have a solid understanding of more basic ideas. For now, take time to react to your enemy's attacks with simple rolls and attack when the enemy is done with their combo. That leads us to my next tip, which will help you level up a bit faster and do more damage to your enemies in Elden Ring. A lot of the enemies you'll find do not give a lot of runes upon taking them out, which is both experience to level up and currency to purchase things. While you're out exploring the lands between, you'll see glowing skulls on the ground. Take a moment to run them over with your trusty steed or roll over them if you're on foot to pick up the item they drop called golden runes. These golden runes give 200 runes upon using them in your inventory, which is more experience than the majority of enemies you'll encounter will give. I would not rely on these alone to level you up. They're best used to finish off the remainder of experience needed to level up if you're using a Site of Grace. This was a major deal to a lot of players starting the game just last week. They were complaining how slow leveling is without realizing the game was literally giving them free experience just for exploring and taking a moment to crush the glowing skulls. Every level in this game can help you with more health, stamina, attack damage, or whatever you decide to spend it on. Do not miss out on these free runes. The fifth and final tip I have for you today for our beginner's guide to Elden Ring is to explore. There are so many dungeons and areas to explore that give a good amount of runes, new weapons, and boss fights to learn from. Since the game has released to the time I've recorded this video, I have only fought against the very first major main story boss. There is so much to do in this game that I've been completely hooked on just exploring as much as I can, and I've spent over 45 hours in the last 5 days doing exactly that. Because of this, both of my characters are really strong and can handle things pretty well so far. Alright guys, that wraps up my beginner's guide to Elden Ring. I like to keep it short and to the point so that I don't take too much of your time in videos like this, but I was requested to make this video by a lot of people that watch my live stream, so I hope that you found something useful out of it as well. Be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, and good luck in Elden Ring.